Peggy 7.
We have way more interactive puzzles where you're actually a part of the puzzle. I think that's a whole new experience and I freaking love it.
Puzzles are the most important thing in our game. It's what the whole franchise is based around. So, yeah, I would say it's pretty damn important.
Pretty important.
Pretty important, yeah.
I think what makes a We Were Here puzzle good is that we think about the experience for both players. It's not only explaining things to each other, it's also like really handing over stuff to each other to finish a puzzle.
I think it's very important that there is a certain balance for our puzzles, so both players have like an equal amount of things they need to do for solving the puzzle, instead of like one is solving the puzzle while the other one is waiting.
Puzzles in We Were Here are good when it forces you to communicate to the other player, right? It's not supposed to be a thing that you can do alone.
Yeah, if you can solve the puzzle on your own, then it's not a good puzzle for We Were Here.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what makes a We Were Here puzzle.
Well, when we get the general concept of a puzzle, we tend to split off and figure out ideas on our own. And then after a while, we combine those ideas and see what parts work best. I tend to believe Chris's versions end up being a lot more interactive storytelling, while my puzzles sometimes end up being more of the cryptic, difficult puzzle games you'd find in the puzzle book.
And this is interesting because it creates a diversity in the puzzles we come up with.
When designing the puzzles We Were Here together, I always admire my teammates so much for trying to fit in a puzzle in a certain theme. They just get a piece of paper, they draw out what they think, they talk symbols, they talk visuals, but most of the time it works really good when the art team comes in, because they always have this visual part that gives an extra to creating a puzzle.
What I think sets the puzzles apart from the previous games in We Were Here Together is that the puzzles give you a sense of inhabiting the same world.
In the previous games you had this what we call raadje plaatje, and it's like I have a picture and I describe the picture and you have the same picture and have to do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's more, I have this thing, let me send this thing to you. Oh, now you did this thing. Oh, let me send it back to you. And you have more of a interaction with each other.
What I really like about the puzzles in We Were Here Together is the sense of scale you get for some of the puzzles. For example, in the elevators puzzle, players need to reach the top of this giant wall, but sometimes the way forward requires sending the other player back down.
Whenever the guys come up with a new concept for a puzzle, they make like this paper prototypes, and most of the time Lucia and I are the first victims to try it out, which is fun and frustrating at the same time.
We always get like the weirdest setups, and I remember one time that we had to play with like bottles, and then we were set in a room and they were like, yeah, we have this big sheet between the two of you. We just tried to like make sense out of everything, and it was so hard because you're just looking at bottles and pieces of paper.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to like imagine what you have to do, but then in the end when you see the real puzzle, then you're like, ah.
Well, some of our early puzzle concepts were actually tested in real life. We locked people up in 2 rooms and gave them a walkie-talkie, some information, and told them to figure it out.
We find this way of testing very unique because we get to see their reactions and how they communicate.
And of course, it's a lot of fun to lock people up in a room and see them develop new ways to get out.
We didn't solve that puzzle, by the way.
No, we didn't solve it.
Not at all.
No, we didn't.
We ended up like an hour further, stopped, just drank wine.
My favorite puzzle is towards the end of the game, but I don't want to give too much away, so I guess you'll just have to buy the game and see for yourself.
Yeah, you can download the game now on Steam and give us your thoughts.